STDs are on the rise at the St. Bonaventure campus. The debate, religion versus your safety. We investigated the numbers. Also, we will tell you more about the dozen meth arrests in Cattaraugus County during the last 2 weeks. The most recent happened right across the street from the St. Bonaventure campus at the Olean Microtel. 3 YouTube employees are in the hospital after a gunman entered the YouTube headquarters Tuesday afternoon. Police have now identified the shooter. These stories and more next on SBU-TV. Thank you for joining us on SBU-TV. I'm Sean Mickey.
And I'm Matt Williams. We begin today with news from campus. 26 students visited the Wellness Center with concerns of an STI. However, 5 out of the 26 tested positive. SBU-TV's Mariah Romero has a full story.
Have you had your yearly checkup yet? Recently, the STI chlamydia has becoming increasingly popular here on campus. I spoke to Dr. Becky Seedfield in Health Services.
Chlamydia is the most common STI, and the symptoms can be nothing. So that's the reason why every year you should, at least once a year, you should be tested for chlamydia GC, even if you're asymptomatic, which means you don't have any symptoms, because all too often you don't have any symptoms, and then what that does is it produces inflammation and scarring in your fallopian tubes in a female, which can cause sterility in later years, so you can't get pregnant.
26 students came in about chlamydia concerns this year. Keep in mind, those are only students that had concerns and came in and reported it.
Most commonly, we know it's from sex, and it's unprotected sex, so it's not using a condom. So what we have to think about, though, you have to go a little further than that, and that is that it's in contact with any mucous membrane. So if you don't really have full penetration, but you still have sexual contact, then you can transmit the disease. The same way with oral contact. Oral sex, both ways, you can transmit STIs.
Since we are a Catholic university, health services do not provide condoms, but they do encourage anyone who is sexually active to use protection because it prevents STIs.
Say if the students have a concern about chlamydia or GC, that they're more than welcome to come here. We can do the test right here. It's just a urine test.
I'm here in front of Health Services, where I just spoke to Dr. Becky Seedfield on sexually transmitted diseases like chlamydia, which can be treated with a one-time pill called Zithromax. Make sure you're staying healthy and getting your yearly checkups. With SBU-TV, I'm Mariah Romero.
If students have any concerns, they should go to the Wellness Center as soon as possible. They offer testing as well as treatment.
After recent reports of an STD outbreak on the campus, SBU-TV's Jocelyn Person attempted to find out why contraceptives are not provided to students who are sexually active.
Doesn't make any sense.
Blinders off, we can't put them on and pretend like this isn't happening.
These are the students' responses to the university lack of contraceptives. I went to find out why the university doesn't provide any of them. I spoke with Dr. Becky Seedfield, a family nurse practitioner, to gather information on the issue.
So my role as a medical provider is to help them make healthy choices in life. And that's just not healthy physical choices, it's healthy mental choices and emotional choices, but also, because we're a Catholic university, healthy spiritual choices.
I've also spoke with Father Ross to get his standpoint on why Franciscan Values doesn't believe in providing any contraceptives to the students.
It's not about not doing something, right? It's not a church of no's. It's about saying we believe very deeply in the value of sexual relationships as an expression of holiness, goodness, and the fullness of who we are as human beings, made in the image and likeness of God.
I'm here at the Wellness Center, and after all of the information that I've gathered, I've also learned the Student Code of Conduct doesn't reference anything regarding to contraception. Reporting for SBU-TV, I'm Jocelyn Person.
With no clear answers yet, SBU-TV will keep you updated on any new information we find. Over a dozen arrests in Cattaraugus County for the illegal sale and manufacture of methamphetamine. SBU-TV's Rob Barbieri and Matt Williams cover how meth is affecting our local community.
In the past 2 weeks, local officials have made over a dozen arrests regarding meth all over Cattaraugus County, including 2 in Freedom, 1 in Yorkshire, and 1 in Franklinville. Local officials from Cattaraugus to Erie County banded together to execute the 3 search warrants at each address.
I'm currently standing on St. Bonaventure University's campus, and right behind me, less than a mile away, is the Microtel, where 2 arrests were made for the unlawful manufacture of methamphetamines in the 3rd degree. Police responded early Thursday morning to a noise complaint, which turned out to be a mobile meth lab in plain sight. We called the hotel to get their statement on this. However, they had no comment on the matter. For SBU-TV, I'm Matt Williams.
We've been in contact with local police on what they're doing to crack down on the manufacture and sale of methamphetamine, and once we have more information, we'll update you further. What we do know is that over the last 2 months, there has been a spike in arrests all over Cattaraugus County, and police are doing their best to rid the area of the drug.
Since the report, 9 more arrests have been made regarding methamphetamine in Cattaraugus County.
With 62 counties in New York State, Cattaraugus ranks within the top 10 counties with the highest percentage of the population living in poverty. Our Katie Tursick visually explains the poverty issues here. Behind me, less than a mile.
Poverty, by definition, the state of being inferior in quality or insufficient in amount. But to Cattaraugus County, poverty is no dictionary definition. It's a visual, transparent reality that has residents pleading for change in the community. Originally introduced to the warming house in Olean through Canticle Farms, volunteer Kristen De Lorenzo recognized poverty in Cattaraugus County and immediately wanted to help.
And people are just looking for a hot meal sometimes and some company and someone to talk to and to warm up.
According to the 2018 New York State Poverty Report,
14.6% of the residents living in Cattaraugus County have income levels that put them below the national poverty line.
As for Cattaraugus County resident Bob Crawford,
I like to see a change. Get rid of this stuff that they just did and then it'd be a bigger change. Everything. I can see the new light poles being put in because they never do nothing in 10 or 15 and 20 years.
Niall Wilson, a warming house coordinator, carries his pay-it-forward mentality through his personal experiences.
I come from like the inner city, so there's a lot of poverty there, so I know what poverty looks like and I understand it. So it's nice to help people out.
Wilson explains that since the warming house is in Olean, not everyone can get to it all the time. He suggests transportation to and from the warming house would help. Katie Tursick, SBU-TV.
After talking more to our community, residents expressed they want more access to fresh vegetables and improvement to local parks.
Police responded to the YouTube headquarters Tuesday afternoon in San Bruno, California, after a female gunman opened fire on the campus. Her family said they are stunned by the attack, but they warned police ahead of the shooting. Roisin Coleman has the story.
California communities are still in shock after Nasim Adam opened fire at the YouTube headquarters Tuesday afternoon. Authorities are still trying to piece together what happened and investigate exactly what caused her to do this. Terrifying moments as shots were heard on Tuesday afternoon at the YouTube headquarters, south of San Francisco.
Report of subject with a gun.
Authorities identify the shooter as Nasim Agdam, who just before 1 p.m. Eastern Time shot 3 people before taking her own life. The shooting prompted a massive police response within 2 minutes.
They heard 7 to 8 shots being fired.
The scene was chaotic as employees rushed out the building.
We heard gunshots. It was really close to me because I could feel the power of the gun.
The victims are being treated in the Zuckerberg San Francisco General Hospital, one of which is critically injured. Agdam's family said she was active on YouTube, where she posted videos on animal rights and veganism. Agdam was reportedly mad at YouTube for censorship and restricting her videos. Authorities say Agdam had been missing from her home since Saturday after leaving due to family issues. Her brother spoke to reporters but wished to not be identified.
We called that cop again and told him that there's a reason she went all the way from San Diego to that.
The Los Angeles Times reports a law enforcement source says officials are using her website to investigate what happened Tuesday afternoon. CNN is working to confirm the authenticity of the website. For SBU-TV News, I'm Roisin Coleman.
3 people were hospitalized at Zuckerberg's San Francisco General Hospital Tuesday. All are believed to be conscious and are recovering right now.
Thursday, the Jandoli School of Communication hosted an open forum in Murphy Auditorium. SBU-TV's Nick Gallo attended the event and got a closer look into Danica Rome and her journey after her days at St. Bonaventure.
The buns.
Danica Rome, a 2006 journalism and mass communications graduate, visited her alma mater on Thursday to speak about her life after Bonaventure. Rome would eventually run and be sworn into the 13th District of the Virginia House of Delegates. She would become the first out transgender person ever seated in an American state legislature. Bonaventure has made an impact on her as she has guest lectured in journalism classes ever since she has graduated.
I've stepped foot on this campus every single year for the last 18 years.
With all the obstacles she has faced, Rome has used what she has learned and has applied it to her ventures from journalism to politics.
Your voice is too deep. They might say that your hands are too large. I've heard every nasty thing under the sun thrown at me. All of it. I've heard it all.
A packed house full of students attended this forum and were impacted by her story. I spoke with one of the attendees about how her story has impacted them as a person.
I have explored my gender identity, so it's an important thing to me. Really not afraid to be her authentic self. So it was just like really heartwarming for me. Yeah. So it was like honestly like tearing up for me because it's been really hard to do that for myself. So it's great to see someone to do that and be really authentic, and it's inspiring.
Although I wasn't able to do a one-on-one interview with Rome, her impact as a journalistic politician has impacted the community that is St. Bonaventure. Martin Luther King said it best: darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. This is SBU-TV reporter Nick Gallo, signing off.
Rome's goal for this upcoming year is to reduce the congestion on Route 28, which has been her main goal since she was sworn into the House. She tweeted at 7:50 on April 5th, "I had two events about 350 miles apart today, speaking to Prince William Chamber of Commerce for 2 hours before driving to my alma mater, St. Bonaventure, in Western New York to talk to a packed auditorium for 3.5 hours. I'm always happy to talk to people at home and home away from home."
Prospective students will be on campus today for spring into Bonas. St. Bonaventure's admissions has faced a challenge to increase enrollment over the past few years. SBU-TV's Ben Solnick talked to school officials to find the problems they face.
This is a great place to be. This is a home for life if you're a Bonnie.
As prospective students will be filling the Riley Center today, St. Bonaventure Admissions has an opportunity to overcome an issue college campuses face.
For any institutions today, public or private, is really the declining enrollment of high schools. So there's less students coming out of high school, so all of us are competing.
With spring into Bonas being a great time to increase enrollment, I asked Valento what he thinks convinces new students to come.
Students come on campus and they meet our students and talk with our students and learn what it's like to be part of this community. It makes a huge difference.
Although there has been an increase in enrollment on campus, along with improvements to Falconio and Robinson dorm rooms and lounge areas, I asked lead student ambassador David LeFaber what deters students from picking Bonaventure.
Concerned with the size, only being 1,700 students for enrollment, but kind of location where we are. There's not a major city around us, Buffalo being the closest, being an hour and a half away.
Expecting over 200 students inside the Riley Center for spring into Bonas. Student activities, student clubs will be informing students on what they want to do and whether or not they want to come here to help increase enrollment for the upcoming class. I'm Ben Solnick, SBU-TV.
Valento said they have received a record number of applicants and are projected to see another increase in enrollment this year.
The search for a new Jandoli school dean continues. The first candidate, Aaron Schimble, visited St. Bonaventure this past Tuesday. He is currently a journalism professor and director of student broadcasting at Texas Christian University. Before that, Schimble was a broadcast reporter and a 5-time Emmy winner. He holds a master's degree in broadcast journalism from Columbia University. Gary Novak will be visiting St. Bonaventure April 9th. He is currently an associate professor and director for School of Cinematic Arts at DePaul University. Novak also has professional experience as a screenwriter, producer, and director. He holds a bachelor's degree in radio, television, film from Northwestern University and a master's in screenwriting fellow from American Film Institute. The final candidate, Thor Wasbaden, will be visiting St. Bonaventure on April 12th. He is currently a professor of journalism and president-elect of the Associate School of Journalism and Mass Communication at Kent State University. Wasban also has experience as a news director, editor, and station manager for professional stations across the country. After the forums, students are asked to fill out a survey they received via email to give their feedback on all the candidates.
Before break, Muslim Students and Allies hosted their annual Wear a Hijab Day. SBU-TV's Fraser Brian and Mariah Marrero talked to people on campus about this annual event.
Before you left for break, Muslim Students and Allies hosted their second annual Wear a Hijab Day.
Wear a Hijab Day gives ladies the opportunity to experience what it's like to walk in the footsteps, or in this case, the hijab, of a Muslim woman.
I got my hijab done by President of MSA, Amina Golden Arabadi. Students were encouraged to wear the hijabs for the rest of the day or however long they felt comfortable.
I wanted to know more about how students on campus felt about the event.
In a way, it made me think, like, wow, this event is really needed on campus, and I'm glad that I can be part of that, because it really speaks to the fact that, like, changing the social setting really wakes up people's biases and makes them notice it.
While wearing a hijab for one day will not give someone the full understanding of the everyday struggles regarding head coverings, the event hopes to bring awareness and change perspectives. Fraser Brian
and Mariah Marrero, SBU-TV.
MSA plans to continue with this tradition and will host Wear a Hijab Day next year.
Thursday night, President Donald Trump announced he is considering another $100 billion in tariffs on China. Earlier this week, the United States announced new tariffs on $50 billion worth of Chinese goods. The U.S. claimed China was stealing U.S. intellectual property. China responded within hours about announcing a $50 billion worth of tariffs on U.S. goods. Trump said that $100 billion increase in tariffs comes from China's unfair retaliation. The Chinese embassy in Washington did not immediately issue a response to these new tariffs.
President Donald Trump toyed with replacing Attorney General Jeff Sessions with the head of the Environmental Protection Agency, Scott Pruitt, this week. Pamela Brown brings us more on the possible changes in the Trump administration.
Before arriving in West Virginia, the president voiced support for his embattled EPA administrator, Scott Pruitt. And tonight, CNN has learned that the president has so much confidence in Pruitt, he has even considered him as a replacement for Attorney General Jeff Sessions as recently as this week. Such a move would put Pruitt in charge of the Russia investigation, giving him the authority to oversee and even fire Special Counsel Robert Mueller. Trump's support for Pruitt comes in the wake of a barrage of bad publicity. But as one source told CNN, Trump was 100% still trying to protect Pruitt because Pruitt is his fill-in for Sessions. A senior administration official tells CNN the president was not pleased with Pruitt's inability to button up several of his controversies in an interview with Fox News on Wednesday, opting to blame critics for his missteps.
Look, I do believe that as we do our work, Ed, as we're focused on these types of things, they are transformational, and anytime that you do transformational things, there are critics and there are people that come against you in that regard.
It is still unclear whether or not Pruitt will be taking over for Sessions. Thank you for watching SBU TV. I'm Sean Mickey.
That's all we have this week. I'm Matt Williams. We'll see you next Friday at 10 a.m. only on SBU TV.